News 46. Local coverage you can count on.
August is here and things are getting hot at the Pahrump Nugget. Hot seat mystery basket drawings every Friday and Saturday. Just sit, pick, and win. Thursdays, win up to $1 million on the Money Vault. First 400 from 11 a.m. pull free. Where? Pahrump Nugget.
And you were talking about that a little bit, Steve, about keeping the bottles cool and making a decision between fighting the actual fire or letting it burn and keeping the bottles cool.
Yeah, sometimes it's you got to keep the tank cool so you don't have a levee. But if you put the fire out real quick, then you have the product still leaking out, which could be a potential hazard because then you can't contain the product. So the best thing to do is sometimes is to keep the tank cool and either try to shut off the valve, and sometimes the valves are burnt. So a lot of times it's just to keep the tank cool for a long time and let the product burn out, and then you know where the product is, it's burnt out. So it's kind of give and take. You know, we fight propane fires, usually they're only one vessel, only one cylinder, and we can mitigate that. But when you have multiple tanks going every which way, it's hard to contain, you know, where the product's going. So, and
they were going every which way, weren't they? They were spinning around because they're propelled. They're
yeah. And then when we actually extinguished the blunt of the fire, we then had to cool down the tanks, and then we had to individually shut off every tank around that loading dock. And then a lot of the valves were burnt or melted off. So then we had to just keep a steady stream, control the vapors, and then eventually they just, you know, dissipated. So it was a lot of stuff to do.
Was there a point in this fire, and I know we talked to Fire Chief a little bit about him asking a status report to see if there was a point where he has to pull back, where he has to tell you guys, we can't go any further with this? Was there a point where you were even thinking that might happen?
Like I said before, you know, just focus on what the jobs they were given to me. You know, I leave that up to my lieutenant and the chief to make that decision. You know, as soon as they say, hey, we need to pull out, then drop what you're doing and pull out. So was that a consideration for you?
Yeah, if I wasn't going to make any more progress on the fire, if I wouldn't have seen any changes, you know, because we were putting over 1,000 gallons a minute on the fire for a while. So if I wasn't going to make any progress on that, then I would have definitely gave a status report to the fire chief, and then we would determine, you know, what our other tactics and strategies would be if we're going to pull out. Or
so tell me about shutting off the main valves. Did that seem to decrease the fire because of that not knowing if it was in the main line or not? Did that help?
Well, Tender 5 was given the assignment. Two of our guys, John Ashcraft and Dan Ulrich, were given the task to shut out the main valve. So they actually walked around where we were spraying water on the main blunt of the fire. They actually walked around Division C and actually hit the main shutoff valves to make sure that they were shut off. And then the stack on the 30,000, that took a couple minutes to shut off. They shut that off. They did a great job, and then we contained the fire. It was out. So